Well, hello and welcome back to the tower. So, give me a moment. We are going to get everything rocking and rolling here. It has been a busy day, as every day tends, especially Wednesdays, tends to be. But what can you do? Every day is a good day. And like I said, there will always be another tournament. So let's get this set up. Hey Casey, hey Virus, hey Mohammed, how you guys doing? Oh, I got gems. What do I need to do? I need to do... Hey Christian, hey Orem, how you doing? Okay, we need to get rocking and rolling here in a moment. Okay. Alright, everything seems to be set. So now the question is spending. What do I spend my hard-earned coins on? Oh, that got expensive. Everything's expensive. How did this happen? Hey, Ghetto, thank you. And let me get the tournament going, and then I will swing back over. Hold on. Yeah, it's better than nothing, I guess. Alright, well, you know, we'll just do one. That was very expensive. Alright, the good news is now I have everything the way I want it to be, with that one being more expensive. And I think we can just leave this alone. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. Let's just leave this alone for now. I'll have more coins soon. There's a reason I don't want to spend out my coins, and I'll explain in a moment. Alright, what do we have? Attack speed, ultimate weapon durations. Okay, that means we can't. We got to use the joystick. Alright, so... switch to tournament. Did I not actually switch? No, I did switch now. Tournament cards. Get these ridiculous modules out of the way. And Dim Core. The light of my life. And we'll go with ACP. Okay, modules are set. Cards are... oh, wait, let me make sure everybody is promoted. Well, now everybody will be promoted. Okay, everybody is promoted. Cards are set. Oh, is it the magic one? No. We'll do it anyways. Okay. Alright, that should be everything. Now we're ready to start the tournament. I am not planning on re-rolling at this time. Alright, there we go. We got that done. And now, just to let it rip. No, I need to get another slot. Alright, so hold on a second, guys. Let me get caught up with chat. I wanted to get this sent off before we ran out of time. I'm now going to load you up on my big monitor so I can read what everybody's saying. I'll catch up in just give me a minute. Mohammed, I don't know. That's not really a great explanation, but the answer is I don't know how all of a sudden I started getting all these coins. It was like fetch happened, and I thought I made a ton from fetch, and now I'm just making a ton in general, and I really don't know. I mean, I assume it's because my card masteries that I'm researching are just finally, like, starting to kick in. Also, I'm spending less. Like, I finally hit the point where the card mastery researches are costing less than I'm bringing in. So the coins are starting to stack up. That's what I'm assuming is happening. But I really don't pay that much attention. Like, you're asking questions was like, I just see number go up, and I'm like, hey, the number's going up. That's good. Number go up, make brain happy. All right, hold on. All right. Hey, Rubber. Hey, Penguin. Hey, Ghetto. Hey, Clover. Hey, Virus. Hey, Sar. How is everybody doing tonight? I didn't lower the speed. The speed is maxed. We're operating at maximum speed. I don't, okay, so let me address some of the questions here. Yeah, FUD saying Defense Absolute will be useful someday doesn't mean much. I don't see how Defense Absolute can be useful, because the reality is this. If Defense Absolute is useful, it makes EHP, like, really strong, and then offense doesn't matter. All the people that have invested stones in a lot of offense won't be happy because they invested stones, and stones are much harder to get than research is for Defense Absolute. Even if they did it with a module, I don't see it happening. So I just he can talk about that all day long about it being useful someday. The likelihood, like, what I would see Defense Absolute being useful is somehow we get some kind of card or module or something that says, oh, your Defense Absolute counts towards, like, your economy or your damage. So that way everybody gets the boost. There's a reason to actually work on Defense Absolute. It doesn't really make a lot of sense, but we do it because it gives us either damage or economy. But it's something like that. It's something like generic damage, generic economy, that everybody gets, so everybody does it, and it doesn't actually upset the meta and make EHP strong again. All right, Virus, any chance you reroll your... I have to get it to at least 201 to even consider that, Virus. And the reality is, I am totally fine running joystick for now. I don't have a problem with running joystick when it's this kind of mod. I mean, maybe I'll regret this at the end of the tournament, but we'll see. Mohammed, how did I start getting this many coins? I have no idea. Number go up, and I'm happy. I just assume it's from all my economy masteries have finally culminated into something, and I'm finally making more coins than I'm losing to mastery research. That's what I assume it is. So, yeah, I think the biggest thing was actually being able to get intro sprint and actually farm tier 14. And so when I'm farming tier 14, I started making more coins, and when I was making more coins than I could spend, I could also invest those coins in my workshop. So it's been a very mutually beneficial relationship, because I've been able to invest in my workshop, and my workshop gets me more coins, and so we can see how this is going. Now, the reason I didn't spend out of my coins is because I'm probably going to do Battle Condition 7, and that costs like 50-something quadrillion, so I was like, well, I'll just save the coins for that. I didn't lower the speed, Penguin. We will get to that when we get to that. Hey, Mark, how you doing? No, Mark, this is not late at all. The tournament doesn't end. Entering the tournament ends in 5 minutes. The tournament officially closes in 4 hours and 5 minutes from now, which is more than an adequate amount of time for me to complete my tournament run, especially since I have intro sprint mastered, so I get to skip to 1800 waves, and I've never even had an 1800 wave tournament. Yeah, sort of like project funding, but with Defense Absolute, it's probably would be an armor module, because we don't have an armor module that contributes to either. So I could see them doing something like that. I could see it being something like, you know, it could be like a Berserk mod too, where like the more damage your Defense Absolute blocks, so basically number of hits, the more it adds to your damage or something. Again, I don't know how they would do it, but I could see them doing something like that. It should always be useful for you, Clover, because they rebalanced everything. You should always do better trying to do your best than trying to manipulate the system. At least I can spend this because I got project funded. I'm not project funded this time. This is actually a terrible strategy to get a good bracket, but what I do is I queue up earlier in the day, and then then I just stream it this time. So my bracket, I queued up, I don't know, like 5 hours ago. So I have a bracket from 5 hours ago. I queue up at random times. I used to queue up exclusively at the end, and I did not get good results. I have no idea, Mohammed. I've never experienced wave skip, not skip. The only way I've seen that is if you're running intro sprint, and intro sprint disables wave skip. Well, Clover, I mean, I can't understand exactly. I mean, you did the tournament, right? Because you should always do the tournament. If you're saying, I don't know if I should do a second run in the tournament to try and see if I can get a higher position, I don't know the answer to that. The reality is this. The tournament, you got 2 minutes to make a decision. The tournament is here and now. Farm runs for the event, you have until the end of the event, which I believe ends in over a week from now. 100 unarmed men versus a silverback mountain gorilla. Probably the silverback mountain gorilla would win. I imagine most of the men would run away because they're unarmed. Basically, it's how you sacrifice someone. You don't have to be the fastest man. You just have to be faster than the slowest man. So then while all the men are running away, the gorilla is killing the end of the pack one at a time. And again, you didn't specify that there's an arena, so I assume that once the gorilla has had his killing fulfillment, some of the men escape, and the rest of the men are dead. Yeah. Intro sprint will only work up to your highest wave. So if you've never done tier 12, it won't go beyond your highest wave. So if your highest wave is like 20, it'll skip to 20 and then stop. So that's the rules of intro sprint. You should do it, Clover. Do your best. Hey, Vincent, how you doing? I gotta start taking creatine soon. And that is the tournament being closed. All right, I'm gonna do this. This is dangerous. Oh, we don't have anything crazy this time, do we? No, okay. No, nothing crazy. All right. Yeah, that's why re-rolling Clover is like my least favorite system. Because no matter how much you re-roll, you're never guaranteed to get what you want. There's no continuous improvement. All you can do is try to get more re-roll shards to punch more tickets. Which to me is not a very satisfying system. But the good news is, once you get to your modules up higher, you will get more slots, which hopefully will make it easier. I actually don't know. I don't know if I don't know if we'll be able to get it in time for it to matter. Oof. Yeah, that's the Yeah, I know you can claim it. I just don't know if I'm going to get enough medals to claim it, is I think the question. And I would have to at this point. Hey, Mike, how you doing? I think I would have to at this point actually pause the game speed, open the menu, and then resume the game speed because the game doesn't really pause correctly. Hey, Pavel, how you doing? Core is terrible to roll. Well, I'll be honest. All of the modules feel bad to roll. Core is the worst. Oh, vampire. I do like killing vampires. No, I got it, Pavel. It's just luck of the draw. I will say one of the things, guys, if you're rolling your module, if you don't feel like you're getting lucky, close out of the game, save the game, and reload the game. Don't sit there and, if you are having bad luck, and keep trying to roll it one time. Yeah, so did Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ Vampire Hunter is, that's one of his titles. I mean, there's no guarantee because RNG is RNG, but if you're blowing a lot of shards and you're just not having any luck, you're better off, like, saving, closing the game, reopening the game, and trying again versus just blowing them all continuously. Also, it depends on how many bands you have and all those kind of things. I always use auto reroll. There's no reality in this world where I would not use auto reroll because the system that they implemented is the most asinine, terrible system in the entire universe. At the very least, they should give me the ability to configure when the pop-up happens and make the pop-up match what I've selected. If they did that, I wouldn't use auto reroll because I have a manual reroll that is actually faster than auto reroll. But they don't do that, which drives me up the wall to no end. Because honestly, I would rather have the pop-up happen when I determine it to happen. Then I could do my super fast reroll. But alas, that is not the case. It's just a terrible system in general. There's no way for you, like, yes, you can always farm more reroll shards. You absolutely can do that. But you can never actually materially improve your odds out of the bands. So that's why I dislike it. Also, are you guys on iOS? Because iOS seems to have, like, somehow more issues, and I don't understand why. Oh, I death-defied. Alright, we're already up to 1100. That's pretty good. Alright, now wings has happened. My wings have been broken. My demon mode has been broken, and we're out of it. That's not good. Alright, well, I mean, we don't have it, do we? No, there isn't it. I don't know. We'll do it anyways. iPhone is iOS. Intro Sprint Mastery has been the most convenient thing I've ever gotten. It is so good. Oh, I couldn't say enough good things about it. Because look at how long this tournament has been. We've gotten to the 1100 waves in 15 minutes. Saving me from a 150-minute tournament run, Tsar. I never doubted it was good, Vincent. My question was always, is this the most efficient investment for me to make in the card masteries? Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it really sucks if you can't, like, Intro Sprint, I think, is the biggest quality of life out of all of them. It's the wrong answer. You didn't ask the right question, Czar. You asked if I'm crazy and what is that good for? And I answered about it. We were talking about intro sprint. Dude, with auto restart, it is so good. You have to ask the right questions, Czar, for me to give you the right answer. I can't just lean into the wrong answer. You said what? So, imagine you have a 10-meter table, and you're standing on one side of your 10-meter table, and between frames you're losing. You're not losing. Between frames you're moving at 11 meters. On one frame you'll be on one side of the table. On the next frame you'll be on the other side of the table, and you never actually collide with the table. Now imagine you reduce the game speed by 50%. Now you're moving 5.5 meters between frames. And then, so on the one frame, you're on one side of the table. The next frame, you're in almost the middle of the table. And there you go. Now the game has to resolve the collision with the table. Thank you, Czar. Considering it is a 10-meter table, I believe it is like the table from Dr. Strangelove, but even bigger. Their table was only 7 meters. It has to be a round table because that way the direction doesn't really matter as much because you always got 10 meters to go through. And happy farming, Arm. Thank you for stopping by, and I hope you have a great evening. I don't even know, like I actually don't even own an apartment big enough to have a 10-meter table in it. I've actually seen some penguin because I went looking for them. And so what they do is they actually make them in sections. No, I haven't watched it yet, so I will. It's on my list of things to watch. And so the way they section it is so that it's actually in pieces, and then you fit the pieces around and you leave a piece out so somebody can stand in the middle and do a presentation. I don't really know how effective it is to do a presentation from the middle of a circle because half the people are looking at you from behind and half are looking at you, but it's a way to do it. And if I was going to pick any kind of polygon, it would be a hexagon table. Because hexagons are the bestagons. One day, if I ever make it, I'm going to have to make my YouTube studio, right? And you will see me at a 10-meter table presenting or whatever I'm streaming. And on the other side, if I'm lucky, we can put Maria on the other side of the 10-meter table. I mean, is a green screen as much fun? Don't we want practical effects in the world of CGI? Don't we want an actual 10-meter table and not an imaginary one created by AI? I mean, I don't see the appeal of a fake table. No, Clover. I got Fetch when Fetch was super good and broken, and it, like, shot my coins to the moon. And that's why I've decided to save up for Golden Tower Plus. I'm going to get GT11, because I really like having lots of coins. It makes me very happy inside. Like, oh my goodness, having a lot of coins is amazing. And then, Hey, Rocket Man, how you doing? I think I might save up for GT12 just to further my addiction. Well, we got to all survive until May 2026 so we can get GTA 6. Clover, the good news is we will actually be able to respec. We actually will get Guardian respecs. Hey, Cuxon, how you doing? Hey, Fernando, how you doing? You did. It's okay. You can rewind the stream, Rocket Man. Just play it at like 1.5x, and then eventually you catch up. That's what some people do. Because you can rewind it and you can get it. You'll get the sped up version of me. I actually watch my videos at between 1.5x and 2x speed when I have to review them. I wouldn't hold my breath, Clover, for it to be cheaper. I don't believe YouTube I don't know. I thought YouTube computed watch time regardless of speed up. I don't know. Maybe not. That's okay. I can start with my bedtime tower stream. One time I should do that. I should do a bedtime tower stream and just let the tower stream while I sleep. And I'll have to find some free music I can use and just put some nice chill lo-fi music on in the background, and it'd be perfect. And then it can be something like chill tower lo-fi stream. I'll have to do something with the sides, because I wouldn't want the sides, the left and right sides, to be fixed like that. I'd have to figure out how to do like some kind of like, like how the girl studies, the one channel where the girl studies, and it finally crashed. I can stream to Discord and use any music, but then that requires everybody to hop into Discord and all that. The Spiffing Brit made a video, a couple different videos like that. The one that I saw was he made a video that he let everybody watch, and then he cut the video in half after everybody watched it to the end. I didn't see what the actual video was, and he said the reason he did that is because then it would be over 100% watch time, and it would make the algorithm super recommended. I mean, I do see plenty of music streams and stuff like that on Discord. Like Discord, I'm in YouTube. Like I watch, what was it called? Dark Synth? Oh, rating a bunch of that's great. I got a few days late and I didn't, and he's like, if you don't get in time, you'll never see what's past this. And so I didn't. I was too late. But I used to watch Dark Synth, and it was there was another channel by the 80s guy. He had 2 live streams for music. I used to watch them all the time because I would just put them on in the background, and they were great. Like the music was great. It was like I live in an apartment complex, so obviously people make noise. So I like to have music on so I don't hear people's noise. And, I'm not against people making noise. That's just something people do, right? I'm not anti-noise, but, at the same time, if I had a choice between listening to music or noise, I'd, much rather listen to music. I also found out that part of the problem is my door doesn't have a good threshold, so I need to figure out how to improve that. Because I need to have the best threshold possible to block the noise out. I do have some. Let me see. I actually have some that I use for Idle Kingdom defense. Because I went through, like, I would do speed ups. And so I do have some. I just heard horror stories about that. That's why I get so nervous with using music like that. Hold on, I know I put it somewhere. Hey Joseph, how you doing? Yes, I have that at 8 out of 10. I will be maxing that eventually. Here it is. Alright, wait, that was loud. Sorry. Why are you so loud? Chain Lightning does, but you can never have too much anti-armor. This is Colony by Track Tribe. It's not my favorite, but it's... I can't tell if it's too loud or not, so you guys have to tell me. Honestly, I want to learn how to make music one day. Alright, thanks. You know, I really wish I knew how to make music. Because I would love to just have my own chill track that I could just play whenever, like my own like theme song. And then I could give a copy of it to Maria, right? And she could play the theme song when I join her stream. That's been like the dream forever. But you know, I have to learn how to make music, get the software to make music, make the music. It's a lot of steps. She does. She's that Finnish Fox on YouTube. No, not a recorder. We're doing this digital, Sar. Why would I learn how to play an instrument when I could program an instrument? That's probably an insult to musicians everywhere, but I'm fine with that. I'm a programmer by heart. I want to program the instrument to play perfectly. I'll link her channel. Andy, if you can afford it, Super Tower. That was the one I got first, assuming you can afford to do all the researches. You have to remember that Card Mastery is extremely expensive, and if you can't afford the research, you got to be able to afford it. If you can't afford the research, I don't think you should do any Card Masteries. I mean, you could try doing, like, if you have Demon Mode and you have keys and you have Demon Mode on auto restart, you could try doing Demon Mode. If you don't, you could try doing damage, because those are just flat multipliers. Super Tower requires that you basically complete everything. You basically have to have GT10 to even consider Card Masteries. And GT10, I think, only really works if you have a really high amount of lab coin discount. Okay, so until I get something different, and I'm also open to recommendations that people can find, because YouTube has a music library that I believe... Oh yeah, there's also package mastery. It does, Mike, but the issue with Super Tower Mastery is the way it works on unlock is you don't get 100% uptime. So you get a burst of good benefit and then it drops off. So the reality is if you can't actually afford doing all the researches, you're better off getting something like damage, where damage is up 100% of the time, or something like demon mode, which is up 100% of the time. Super Tower Mastery only really works if you can do all of the 9 researches, which is between 35 quadrillion and 50 quadrillion, depending on how much of your lab coin discount research you have. You have to 35 quadrillion to 50 quadrillion. So you'd be looking at that kind of income. You would be looking at probably making a quadrillion a day, give or take. Because you should probably be able to do the research in about a month. And actually, Cuxon, I believe Wave Acceleration actually outperforms Coin Mastery, believe it or not. Yeah, Package Mastery is especially good if you're not at 161 yet. If you're not at 161 yet, Package Mastery is especially good. The issue is with Package Mastery, if you're beyond 161, the levels start to get really expensive. So if you don't have a really strong economy, then you won't be able to buy the extra levels. And so, yeah, it's not very intuitive that, like, I didn't even think Wave Acceleration outperformed Coin Mastery, because I was super hesitant on getting Wave Acceleration, and I got it. And probably if anything really was the acceleration of my economy, it was Wave Acceleration, because that's when I really started to notice that I started making more coins. That would be the point, and that was when I was still in tier 12. And that was what actually encouraged me to okay, then recovery package makes perfect sense. That was the mastery that encouraged me to try farming tier 12 more, just because of how Wave Acceleration works. Yeah, 141 and 161, both are big milestones. I tried to hold off on re-rolling my modules until I got to 161 for the maximum slots, and of course now it's 201, which again, I'm trying to hold off to re-roll until I get to 201, just so that I get those extra slots, you know? Also, I need to research more bands as well, because some of the band costs now are 3.5 quadrillion, which wasn't affordable before. It's extremely affordable now, but I want to get Battle Condition 7 done first. Battle Condition 7, I'm hoping, will be very helpful. I think I need one more tournament before I can do GT 11. Because GT 11 will be a huge boost, I hope. You have to get to tier 18. Wave 1,000? I think it's Wave 1,000. And it's super expensive. But I'm happy to have what I can get. Got him. Yeah, it's gonna take a while to get there. But hey, at least you got card masteries unlocked. Did you at least get ancestral project funding? because my next project, when do we get the next banner? Is it the 19th? Because I think I'm going to draw hard on the next banner on the 19th if the module is what it's rumored to be with the thorns. Oh, okay. Hey, you just got to keep drawing. That's all you can do. All right, it'll be Monday. Okay, thank you. It'll be Monday. Excellent. No, he already said, Penguin, it was going to be one after the other. The last two modules were going to be this month. So we'll get this one's going to finish, and we're going to get the last banner next. And then I can draw the last one to Ancestral. Casey, I'm pulling it to Ancestral if the rumor's true. Yeah, he did say, as far as I know, Penguin. I mean, you know, there was kind of a big backlash. Yeah, so it would be, if it's 13 hours, it would be at 10 a.m. Monday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Yeah, so we can finally, I can stop hoarding my gems, because I'm going to pull the new one until I get it to Ancestral. Then I'm just going to blow all of my gems. I will blow all of my gems. They're just going to be gone unless I get all the other modules to Ancestral 5-star. And then I will finally be happy. Yeah, it's supposed to be 5x wall thorns. And if it is 5x wall thorns at Ancestral, that is absolutely bonkers insane. I am going to draw that. I'm going to wait until I get 201 to reroll it, and I will reroll that and replace my wormhole redirector for farming. Yeah, I might live stream it, Casey, because that would kind of be fun to do. So you know what? This is what I'll do. If we get the banner next Monday, I'm going to wait until Wednesday. We'll do the tournament, and then I'll just blow all my gems. I'd much rather do it live than record it in a video and do it after the fact. I think that's more fun. I guess I'll have to let the Discord know about that too, so people know to show up if they want to see that. I will just be happy to have the Hey, what do you know? We got that. Wait, hold on a second. Is that enough? I did it. I was able to grab it while I was in the tournament. We did it! We did it! I improved my DPS while I was in the tournament. My damage per meter is so small compared to Ghetto. Well, you have 2 weeks, Clover. So, I mean, it's one of those things. It's not like the banner's gonna go away in like an hour or something. You'll have 2 weeks to draw it if you choose to want it. Yeah, we did it. We got it in the middle of this, which is kind of funny. This is actually going to be a close one, guys. I got a bracket where this is actually going to be a close bracket. Get him! Net him! Come on, damage him! There you go. Show him who's boss. Andy, I have absolutely no idea because I had to use the joystick, couldn't use project funding, so we're not sure. We will see what happens. No, my wall, you bastards! It's up to 260x for a single crit. Everybody needs more damage, Clover. Everybody needs more damage. That's one of the universal truths in life. You can never do enough damage. Deathwave health has nothing to do with damage. Deathwave health has to do with more hits. So you want more hits and not more damage. Because every effect wave that goes out, that hits everything, should be stacking. So it's all about hits, not damage for Deathwave. You don't need to kill with Deathwave anymore. See? I'm not killing it, I'm at 7x. Got him! Just barely, but I got him. See? It went up. Went up. Oh, well, it didn't go up yet. Oh, there it go. Went up again. You only got to hit. You don't have to kill. I heard Smite was really good for Chain Lightning. Kills do too, but so does just the effect going off. Damn, but that's still good, Penguin. I have 5. I have a max because I maxed my Deathwave waves because you need that for cells. I had to get all the cellies. I'm actually doing really good with cells ever since I increased my buff. I'm ending up with like I could do a 6x lab. I feel like I should save my 6x labs for a rainy day because of how expensive they are, or a lab that I really, really want. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Wow, congrats, Ghetto! What's your cell enhance at? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Alright, hold on. We need to... Oh, never mind. I'm in 4th. Alright, yay, we did it. We got to 4th. We're not getting to 2nd. I sniped somebody. That's a snipe. That's another snipe. Okay, because mine's at 1.5. Clover, 3rd doesn't matter. 3rd and 4th, they give the same rewards. All I'm doing here is I'm buffering. I'm just buffering to make sure it's harder for me to lose 4th. Or 3rd. 4th. Because 3rd and 4th are the same prize. See, they're this. The reason I track this is because somebody... Let me actually take the screenshot now. Wait, no, I can't take it now. We need to wait for it to close. But the reason I track this is because somebody asked me, like, how close would I be to getting, like, was I 100 waves away? And you can see that this is, like, 350 waves. So it's unlikely that I could do any small upgrade to get to second. Now I can pick up my gems. It drives me nuts when I have things that are lit up like a Christmas tree. No, I wasn't. Oh, wait, yeah, I gotta do this. And we switch. I feel like we're good on, right now we're good on push runs. So we're gonna do a farm run this time. It's just gonna be a chill farm run. Because I need to get this to 4,500 before I worry about getting this to 4,500. Damn, Fernando, really? Well, you can't win them all. I need to get 4,500 here before I worry about it here. And, you know, this got to 3,000, but there's not a milestone beyond 2,500. So I'm basically, we just did tier 17 and I got to 2,500. So I'm good on milestones pushing for now. So we need to get more coins. Farming. Okay, we are ready to farm. We'll do more milestone pushes another time. Speed. Oh, congrats, Pavel. They probably should, Mike, but I'm also fine with it. Because it means if I get 2,500, I don't have to turn around and try to push until I know I can get 4,500. I can go back to farming, which is what my heart desires, to farm. To be one with the fields. To till the fields for their coins. I'm just so happy. Oh, good, we got this. What was this? Oh, you know what else I need to grab? Yep. Oop. I'm a compulsive clicker, what can I say? And then we can just chill once I get my enemy health level skip maxed out, which should be pretty quick. It becomes such a chill run, I love it. It's the chilliest. But what rank did you end up, Clover? I'm super happy whenever I get 4. Top 2 is usually out of my league. Well, damn. I'll be happy when I get 4,500 in tier 14. I have a feeling it's just going to happen from when I get lucky farming, because I've already pushed it up to 43.99. All right, Pavel, you have a good night and you get some rest, and I will see you next stream. And happy farming. And as always, thank you for watching. All right, it's Pavlo. My bad. All right, we're chill. We got our health up. We're chilling. All right, Clover, thank you for watching and happy farming and best of luck. Also, good luck with completing your tournament one and getting Spotlight again. All right, Mike, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great dinner. Have a good night, and happy farming. Appreciate it, Clover. Everything counts for me. I really do appreciate it. And you can enjoy the music, too. Hopefully everybody is enjoying the music. This is the first time we've had some music. Outside of the time when I listened to the 10-meter table, we didn't really listen to that on stream. That was a hilarious song, Sar. Poor Maria, she's gonna lose all her hair. Hey Kaz, how you doing? Yeah, we died valiantly. Alright, Cuxon, thank you for watching and happy farming, and I hope you have a great night. I'll see you next stream. Does anybody know about the threshold theory? Oops. Oh, really, Mark? Well, tell him congrats. Yeah, good luck. Good job, Billy, and good luck. No, the threshold actually doesn't have anything to do with 10-meter tables. It's a theory by Malcolm Gladwell, I believe. Hold on, I have to see if I can find it. Because it was really fascinating when I read it. Oh, Mark's on delay. Okay. So the sad things about this is I learned about this theory because of it was an article about school shootings, but that's not the part I really want to talk about because that's a heavy issue, obviously. But I'm gonna copy and paste the part that I found was really interesting. It has nothing to do with school shootings. That was one of his other ones, but that was in his 10,000 hours was actually in Outliers. Oh, apparently it's too big for Discord. Hold on, I mean for YouTube. It will have to be pasted in multiple. The most interesting thing is how it relates to people leaving a party. That's what made it relevant. Because what happened is, we just saw it happen, right? Somebody was like, well, it's late, I need to go. And then a bunch of other people left. Now, granted, they're European, it is late for all of them. But basically, everybody stuck around until one person said, hey, I gotta go. And then a bunch of people left because everybody hit their threshold of, hey, I gotta go. And that is the most fascinating thing to me. Because every party, every group gathering, I go, and I don't go to a lot of these things. I tend to just stay in my streaming house. But every gathering I do happen to stumble upon, I will watch this theory, and I will wait. And I will wait until I see one person, and as soon as one person decides, hey, it's kind of late, I need to get going, or for whatever reason, then you'll just watch like dominoes how people start to leave. It is the most fascinating thing for me to watch. Yeah, it's my apartment where I live, Arctic. I don't leave my apartment because going outside is bad. The sun's out there. And I guarantee you, now that you know this pattern, if you actively look for it, you will see it every time. And it'll be so interesting because you'll see somebody that maybe has to leave pretty legitimately, and then you'll notice that as soon as that is broken, you'll start to see other people trickle out. Sometimes it'll be like a dam bursting, and other times it'll be a trickle. Arctic, look, I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know how Maria stands me, because I am generally an anathema to women. So no, there's no e-thoughts here, or e-girls, or anything like that. So it's such an interesting phenomenon. Now that you know about it, you can't help but see it. And I see it in every gathering I do. All right, Ghetto, thank you for watching, and you have a great evening. But that's the whole concept of thresholds. The whole concept of thresholds is that once one person has broken the norm, it allows other people with higher thresholds to then break the norm. You too, Ghetto. You have a great night and happy farming. I'm sure it works with a lot of things, because a lot of group activities, I'm sure you will see this pattern emerge. Because it's basically about group dynamics, effectively, in anything you do. So I guarantee you, if you're out to eat and people are eating at like a buffet, one person will probably stop, and then other people will stop with them. It's just such a fascinating thing. I never knew about it, and now I see it like in every gathering I go to, I watch for it. I don't know, Sar. It's up to you. I'm not trying to tell people to leave. I'm just saying, like, this is a pattern. And it's just fascinating to me to see it. Granted, we're also not doing anything super interesting. It's a farming run. I was considering doing a Star Ocean stream. Because I really, like, I was going to play that game with Maria, but then she didn't buy the game while it was on sale, and now the sale is over. So it's like, oh, well, I guess I'll be streaming it alone. Well, if I'm going to stream it alone, I might as well do it on the evenings when she can't play. But I'm not sure if it'll be tonight or not. And I don't know stocks well enough to say about stocks. I think stocks, there's some of it, but there's a lot of... I think there's some differences to that, because it's not, like, trading stocks is not usually a group activity, unless you're in a cult. If you're in a cult, then it absolutely becomes a group activity. If only I bought Bitcoin back in 2008. I work in IT, so I have a office job. Yeah. I mean, it could be worse, though, because I always remember the story of my friend who thought, oh, this is a neat little thing. They got the Bitcoin application. They farmed like 500 Bitcoins, and then they don't know what they did with it. I do get to work from home sometimes. So, I mean, imagine having 500 Bitcoins, which would be worth about $5 million now. And losing it, because yeah, I would be sad every day for the rest of my life. I don't think I could ever be happy again if I lost $5 million like that. I mean, I'd have to find a way to cope, because they did. Because, oh my gosh. Yeah, Bitcoin pizza guy? Yeah. No. The original Bitcoin pizza was 30,000 Bitcoins. Yeah. The Bitcoin pizza today was probably worth $1 billion. I'm not 100%. I know when I looked last time, it was, I kid you not, a $500 million pizza. Oh, it was 10,000 Bitcoins. Oops, I put 100,000. Right now, 10,000, it was 10,000 Bitcoins. That is a $1 billion pizza. $1 billion. Well, Arctic, first I would make my streaming Fortress of Solitude. And I probably would, you know, if I had $1 billion, I probably think I wouldn't need to work anymore. I'd make my streaming Fortress of Solitude. I'd have a personal chef. I'd have a personal cleaner. I'd have a personal trainer. I'd have a chauffeur. I'd have to carefully scout out where I'd build my Fortress of Solitude. And, I don't even know what I would do outside of, like, building my Fortress of Solitude. Yeah, you'd basically crash the market if you tried to sell it all at once, even now. I don't even know what I would want to do. I mean, I'd know I'd want to make my Fortress of Solitude, but I guess I don't know how much my Fortress of Solitude would cost, if that makes sense. I mean, that's not really up to me, Arctic. It's up to her. And that's... I don't know what she would want to do. It would be up to her, you know. Obviously, the offer would be on the table. But I would think that, I don't know. I would probably see if I could make a room in my house big enough to have a 10-meter table, yes. A 10-meter streaming table. Yeah, Penguin, I don't really have, like, big dreams. Like, I'm not a car guy, so I wouldn't want any fancy cars. I'm not really a property guy. I wouldn't really want a lot of property. I like living in the city. I wouldn't want to live out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, whoops, there went my smart missiles. I don't know if I would leave the United States or not. That's the thing I'd have to wonder. Well, let me put it this way. Where I live right now, I can walk to my grocery store. I can walk to Costco. A lot of things are within walking distance. I don't think I would want to give that up. Even though I feel like if I had that kind of money, walking to places would not be viable. I mean, the good thing about Bitcoin is that it would be pretty anonymous, right? Nobody would know that I had all that money unless I posted it online like Ammon Rath did. It depends. Where I'm at, it's pretty safe to walk. Like, I have a sidewalk where I can walk to my grocery store, so that's not a problem. I don't like the street I live on the opposite of when I have to cross it. See, the funny thing is, Fernando, with that kind of money, hey, Richard, how you doing? Yeah, the U.S. government would know because I'd have to file my taxes, because I'd have to pay capital gains on it, assuming I sold it. Now, there is a reality where I could use it as leverage for a loan. Yeah, they would notice that if some of the uncirculated Bitcoin started circulating, they would notice that. You want to go defense first, Richard. Just keep, and you're gonna have to do a lot of runs where you work on health and absolute defense and defense in general. You're gonna want to go with that. And it's just gonna be a lot of really short runs as you get more coins. And you're gonna probably want to upgrade over whatever costs the least amount of coins. Like, I have a video on it, but people complained I skipped a lot in the video, but the reality is you just do the same runs over and over again. There's not, like, and don't stress about if you buy the wrong thing. If you buy the wrong thing, you just do another run. Hey, Brett, how you doing? You know, every upgrade you get is gonna help you get further. I have been playing this game for almost 3 years, so if you want to play the game for 3 years, you will get here in March 14th, 2028. Now, you can get here faster the more money you're willing to spend. This is by no means a quick game. If you're going free to play, it'll take you even longer. So extend that to probably 4 years. Because I bought the ad-free pack, the double coins and triple coins to start, because I just cannot stand advertising. And so right off the bat, that's 9x growth. So I'd be going 9x faster than you. As long as you stick with it, you'll get there. SAR has a free-to-play account that's in Legends. And it's just one day at a time. It's all about consistency and just playing. Oh, and thank you, SAR. Yes, guys, please do like the stream. It does help out. I did because, Richard, as soon as I played this game, I knew I was going to play it for a long time. And they're permanent upgrades, so that's why I bought them. I would recommend at least buying the ad-free package. Oh, well, congrats on first place in chance, SAR. Like, if you think you're going to play this game for at least a month, the ad-free package, that's like a 100%er. I mean, I literally played the game for 5 minutes and then I bought the ad-free package because I knew I was enjoying the game. And I just don't want to watch advertisements. And I mean, once I bought that, then I bought the 2X. And then it was the next day, so it would have been July 5th. I said, you know what? I'm enjoying this game enough that I will happily buy the 3X pack. And so then I bought the 3X pack. And so if you watch my series, that's one of the reasons I get super accelerated at the start, because it's 9X coins. And honestly, I'll say this. If you really think you're going to play for a long time, it is worth considering purchasing one stone pack for 750 stones. I mean, if I was making enough money, I would be like, I don't know if you guys ever saw how Asmongold played Diablo Immortal, where he just had a dollar counter on this stream, and I think he spent like thousands of dollars on it. And he didn't care because he's like, whatever, I just write this off all as my taxes, you know, this is a business expense to him, you know? Dropping $1,000 on mobile games for his stream. It would be kind of interesting if I had that kind of money, because then I could just, like, buy all the stone packs, buy all the event packs, and just really see how far I could take the game. But until then, we'll just chill, because the game is more about consistency than rushing to the end. And I don't mind taking my time. That is one thing, that is one flaw I think I have, is I'm very patient. So like a game like this, I'm willing to be patient with. I mean, honestly, at this point, I have almost all the quality of life stuff I could want. Yeah, I gotta get the milestone. Somebody did donate so that I could get some of the milestone bonuses, so I got 2. Yeah, mobile games are big money. I couldn't imagine spending 100 grand on Diablo Immortal, to be honest. I mean, I guess it's relative, right? If I have $1 billion of Bitcoin, dropping 100,000 on Diablo Immortal is like nothing. All right, thank you, Richard, and I linked you the series if you want to watch that. So thank you for watching, and happy farming, and I hope you have a great evening. Thanks, Brad. It is Colony by... Wait, is it? Wait, where did it go? It is Colony by Track Tribe. Yeah, if I was going to make $1 million by spending 100K, then yeah, that becomes like Brewster's Millions, right? I'll probably try to put some background music on, because I have a couple I picked out that are okay. I'm also open to suggestions if anybody peruses the YouTube music library and finds something good. It kind of depends. I like this game because it's a game about management and choices. You know, I could probably max perk wave required if I actually had $1 billion. I think that's something I could do, because I could buy the gems. Yeah, money is the best quality of life you can get. We were talking about the $1 billion Bitcoin pizza. That's where the money came from. Yeah, they say once you get to a certain point, like, the quality of life maxes out. So, for example, once I have the personal chef, the personal chauffeur, the personal trainer, the personal maid. All right, Mark, you have a great evening. Happy farming, and I hope you have a great day. Once you have all that, like, what else is there? You know, at least for me. You know, it's not like I'm interested in fancy cars or anything like that. You know, I'd have a nice place to live, obviously, and you know, what more could I want? I guess I'd have my streaming room, my bedroom, my office, my gym, and the peace and quiet that my Fortress of Solitude provides. Fernando, I'm actually not a travel person. I don't really, I don't know what it is. It's funny because everybody asks me, don't you want to travel? And my answer's always been no. Because as a kid, I understood that traveling and vacations were extremely expensive. So I said, you know, it'd be very advantageous for me if I decided to not like traveling because that's an expensive thing to enjoy. And so as a kid, I made a conscious decision never to want to travel. I would like to make the world a better place. I'm no good with women, Arctic. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, and, you know, kids are another thing. Like, when I was growing up, I knew how expensive kids were. And so I was like, you know, it'd be an extreme economic advantage to me if I just decided I didn't want kids because kids were so expensive. And so it's like one of those things, since I knew kids were so expensive, I decided as a kid to not have kids because I feel like that would just make life so much easier. So I also like just like traveling, I decided as a kid to not be interested in having kids either. I mean, the funny thing is, I know somebody that bought his own airplane, and I don't know. I don't get it. So, to be fair, Fernando, it is very easy to say because I've also never been in a situation where I've had a relationship with somebody where I really entertain the idea that like having kids with them would be a viable option, you know what I mean? So I do understand that there is theoretically a reality where I could have met somebody that I thought would make such a good partner that I ended up having kids with them. I could totally see that happening. But when I was younger, I was so, like, as soon as a girl told me she wanted to have kids and a family, I just was, any interest in her, gone, totally noped out. I'm done. Life's going to be better without getting with you. You have a great life, though, and I hope you get all the kids you want. And I'm certainly not knocking on kids or knocking on people that have kids. I totally understand that kids can be a life-changing and positive experience. What can I say? I'm a chicken. I mean, fundamentally for me, part of it too was kids represent a high amount of unknown risk, right? You know, like if you told me, like, if you got with this girl, you would get married, you could have a kid, your kid would turn out to be this amazing guy. Would I do that? Of course I would, because I know I'm getting a good ending. But I was always so reserved that I'd rather not take the risk growing up. Yeah, happy ending in one way or another, right? Part of it too is I actually finally found an article that actually supported my thesis that I've had for the longest time. Is that I always grew up, I had so much engaging entertainment, and you can fill in the blanks for the types of entertainment as you wish, that basically I never felt the need to really, well, you see, the thing was, I was never good at dating or any of that. So there was a point in my life when I said, you know, I'm bad at dating, I'm bad with women, I'm not getting any better at this. Why don't I just stop doing this and just give up? I'm a millennial. And so that's kind of what happened. Also, there became a point in my life where I simply just stopped meeting women. And it's sort of weird because I remember when that threshold was, because I remember my last serious ex-girlfriend. I remember the last time I went on a date, and that was the last time I went on a date was, hold on, I know it was November in 2011. Give me a second, I have to think about the date. I think it was November 3rd. Oh no, it was October. It would have been October, I guess, 23rd, 2011. I thought it was in November. I misremembered. Yeah, 2011, yes. Okay, that was 14 years ago. That was a while. It actually wasn't that I consciously gave up, Arctic. It was that I noticed that I didn't notice at the time. Well, first off, I had something really bad happen to me personally in 2010, and that took me a long time to get over. And I wouldn't really say I gave up as much as I withdrew from some social interaction because of the loss I experienced. And then after, like, when I got over it, I just noticed that I just stopped. I don't know what it was. I just noticed that I seemed to stop meeting women, and I don't really know why. No, I wouldn't say I stopped trying, because actually, and when was it? It was 2015. No, it was 2014. Yeah, probably around 2014, I would say. I don't know. It's kind of fuzzy because it's not like there's a clear recovery date. And some days are harder than others. But in 2014, I started getting in super, I think it was 2014. I started getting in super good shape. I was in the best shape of my life. I lost so much weight. I weighed less than I weighed in high school. And even with how much I worked out and all that, I just wasn't meeting anybody that was interested in me. And I wasn't good at, I'm not any good at online dating. I'm just not. I tried it and I don't know if it was me or the pictures I took or nobody was interested. Which is fine, right? Nobody's I'm not entitled to anybody to be interested in me. And I'm 6'2", yeah. I was 6'2", 214 pounds when this was going on. I wasn't jacked to the tits, but I was pretty jacked. I was in really good shape. I had abs and everything. Nothing. No. But I had my own place. I paid my own bills. I wouldn't say I didn't live I didn't live a fancy lifestyle. I've heard from some people I've met that I'm just, hey punk, how's it going? It's going pretty good for me. I've heard from somebody else that they always assumed I was married because I was very reserved and very respectful. And I was really surprised by that, but I am very reserved. I do not ever try to rock the boat. I do not try to ever make any assumptions. I am extremely cautious. Oh, congrats. Skips will help you out a lot, man. And I think that's why. Also, hey Bunch, how you doing? And I'm also, most of my hobbies, like I hear a lot of people meet other people with hobbies, right? Every hobby I've been into has been extremely male dominated. I play video games. That's a sausage fest. We all know it. How many women come to my stream outside of Maria? I went to the gym. Total sausage fest. And that was about all I did. I actually remember at one point I asked for advice on Reddit and they said you should get into volunteering. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't get into volunteering. There's I don't know what it is. It's just not interesting to me to volunteer. I'm also not very good at talking to people. I'm not shy, but I'm super reserved. So I'm never the guy that's gonna, I will be with my friends. For a great example is me and my friend, we went to Texas Roadhouse, and this happened, I want to say 2 months ago. And we were sitting at Texas Roadhouse, and I'm just talking to him, he's talking to me. And he just goes up to our waitress out of the blue, something I would never in my life do. And he goes, you know what, you're gorgeous. You're one of the most beautiful girls I've ever seen. And I'm like, where am I? Am I in the Twilight Zone? Why are we talking to the waitress this way? And so I'm just sitting there and I'm having like an internal heart attack because I can't believe he's talking to the waitress this way. I'm like scared that you know, this is going to go so south. And I mean, like I said, I would never do that. And there's no reality where I'd ever compliment a woman in public unless I already knew her. And so I play on BlueStacks 5 with Hyper-V. And so and she just responds and reacts, and they have a nice conversation. And I was just, hey, New, how you doing? How's your mom? And dude, my jaw just hit the floor because I was shocked. Like, I could never do that in a million years. But that's what I heard on Reddit. You go volunteer. And like, I don't know, I don't know, I had a pretty detailed conversation with somebody. Well, I hope I don't know if that I don't know if that video was helpful, but I hope it was. Also, I will say I do have sort of some criteria. Like, one girl thought it was crazy that I basically said, I didn't say it explicitly, but if it's somebody I don't already know from an existing, or like in an online dating scenario, if there's a woman that has kids, that's also was like an auto no for me. Because I could see myself being open to somebody who has kids that I know, like, I met in a different way, but I couldn't do it through online dating. So, I mean, all those profiles, like, I remember there were 3 profiles that just were like instant no's for me. Girls with kids, women who were super religious, and women with extreme political opinions. And so I guess there's 4. And women who wanted to travel. And that really didn't leave much. I did find this one girl who was like, all I do is sit in my room and play Overwatch. And you have no idea how hard I swiped right on her. That was like, boom, instant swipe. You are the girl I want to date. And she didn't get back with me. That was a long time ago. Maybe it wasn't Overwatch, because Overwatch would have been... I don't know, maybe it was. No, it would have had to have been, because Overwatch came out in early 2016, and that's when I was looking. Maybe it was, and if he was a guy trolling, he didn't match with me anyway, so it was fine. I found her! She never left her house. All she did was play Overwatch. Honestly, I think she was real. And I think the reality was she was looking for somebody who was going to help her not be a degenerate and play Overwatch 24/7. That's what I think I realized later. But yeah, that's what Genesis, that's what everybody always told me. How are you going to ever find anybody if you're always at home? And I go, if there's a girl for me, she's also always at home, so we're just never going to meet, and that's just the way it's going to be. The universe has decided we'll both be at home in our own homes, and that's just how it's going to be. I've always been a homebody, though. Well, I was working at the time, so I couldn't play Overwatch 24/7, but I could have sponsored her for her to play Overwatch 24/7. But honestly, I assume that was like a... Yeah. I mean, I went to BlizzCon in 2011, but I was with... That was like the last serious girlfriend I was with. And that was something. But again, then I have to, you know, leave the house. Hey, Domingo, how you doing? So the reality is, the only reason I went to BlizzCon was because of her. If I wasn't dating her, I wouldn't have gone. So Hyper-V is a feature in Windows that you probably, if you don't know what Hyper-V is, you probably don't have it. You would just use regular BlueStacks 5. Hyper-V is for the Windows built-in hypervisor, and so you have to use a special version of BlueStacks that supports that hypervisor being enabled. Again, if you don't know what Hyper-V is, it's probably off, and you can just use regular BlueStacks 5. You know, Arctic, the best way I could ever describe it, and this is my favorite joke that I've told my friends hundreds of times, is that I couldn't get laid in a whorehouse with 2 fistfuls of $100 bills. That might be too spicy for YouTube, but whoops, I said it. That's my favorite joke of all time. And I saw it in this show called Chasing Ghosts. It was a documentary on video game players. And I heard it from this one guy, and I just laughed so hard. Because I'm like, yep, that about describes how good I am with women. Yeah, I mean, Genesis, I wasn't any good at it. So, like, I don't like doing things I'm not good at either. So that's why I never dated. Well, I dated some, but, eventually I just... And it wasn't like I made a conscious choice. I just stopped meeting people. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Is that, like... I would meet a lot of people in video games and stuff like that. And it just seemed like... I wouldn't say 2011. I would say probably around 2014. Now, I did meet Maria at the very end of 2016. And I just stopped meeting people. And, like, I noticed that the women I did meet, it always seemed like they had, like, so many different options that they just, like, didn't care. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like, I don't know how to describe it. It just seemed like everybody was so non-committal. And I mean, like, that's cool if that's what you want to do, but, like, I could tell that I was everybody's last choice. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm entitled to be anybody's first choice. And I would never say that. But it did make me really reevaluate my relationships. Arctic, I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's a lot. I'm happy with where they are, yeah. I don't think I can move them. Wait, actually, wait. No, they're not in the good spot. Oh wait, it doesn't matter. They're good enough. They're good enough. I thought it didn't matter. I mean, I probably could pull them in a little bit, but it probably doesn't matter. They're just bigger. The thing is, they're bigger. I made them bigger. Janice says that's just YOLO in general. Oh. Oh, I wasn't looking for that. Right now I'm running range, max range plus the range card. Wait, no, I don't. Oh, I don't have the range card on, so never mind, ignore that. I just have, I'm just running 70. I didn't realize I didn't have the range card on. I guess I do need that extra card slot eventually. Oh, maybe I should pull him in a little bit. The thing is, it hasn't been bosses that are killing me. What it's been is, rays have been killing me. This is just a farm run. I actually have, I'm in a good state for milestones right now. I've gotten the 2500 for 15, for 16, 15, and 14. I've gotten the 1250. I don't remember what I got to 17, but I got good enough to 17. Basically, we were doing this, and I'm like, I don't see the point in pushing for a milestone right now, because I already have all the, I've hit all the low-hanging fruit. And so I was like, well, we'll just do a farm run, I guess, for a bit. Yeah, that's another thing, Genesis. Like, I'm a frugal person. I don't spend money. So a girl that would want to spend money, that's also a nope. That falls under the girls that have a lot of debt. Like girls with debt, that's just a no. It is funny because I do feel like my last Sirius X cursed me. Because what she said to me when we broke up, and I remember this so well, is I treated you so good, you'll never find a girl as good as me. And like, I don't believe in curses, but damn. She also wasn't the right girl for me anyways. Like, I know that we would not have been happy together long term, which is why I ended the relationship, so it's not like I have any regrets over that. But I always think of her last words, and I'm like, damn. What were you, Cleopatra in your last life? Clover, they asked me about women, and so here we are, and my relationships. They asked me when my last date was, which apparently I got the date wrong. It was actually October 23rd, 2011. I don't mind. Arctic, I find my relationship with women to be just hilarious. I love talking about it because I find it so funny. I always laugh. So like when this kind of stuff comes up, I'm just dying internally because I think it's so funny. All the things that have happened to me. I mean, hey, if I can't laugh about it, then I'd be miserable. But I can laugh about it, so I'm gonna laugh my ass off. You can do it, Clover. I believe in you. I mean, to me, the reality is it's just hard to find somebody with similar interests. Hey, Omega, how you doing? I mean, that's really the crux of it. In my entire life, I've looked for someone who has similar interests in me, and I just haven't been able to find anybody. And that's, again, I want to be very clear that I'm not bitter about that. It's just, it is what it is. Hey, Noah, how you doing? You can do it, Noah. Also, like I said, I'm not a very social person. Oh, congrats, Clover. And so just not being a social, outgoing... The best thing I ever read, and I wish I would have saved this article, because it talked about... God damn it, what was his name? It talked about Wilt Chamberlain, and it talked about a guy that was also on his basketball team. And he was like, look, I wasn't like, it was both of them talking about, like, you know, because Wilt slept with 10,000 women. And so what he basically said was, Wilt just had this way about him where he could just make women feel comfortable around him. And he said, even though and he's like, I wasn't as famous as Wilt Chamberlain, but, you know, I was still very wealthy, very, you know, I don't remember who it was. I don't remember, like, who it was compared to Wilt Chamberlain. But he said, you know, I was almost as famous, I was almost as rich, all these other things. And he's like, oh, you know, again, I'm not Wilt Chamberlain. And, but what he said was, I could never make women feel as comfortable around me as Wilt could make them feel around him. He said, Wilt was just so able to just talk to a group of ladies, make everybody feel good. And he just couldn't, and he couldn't emulate that. And when I read that, that's just when it all clicked. Because I was that guy, but I was obviously not as rich, famous, as good as basketball, or any of these other traits. But I could relate to that so hard because that was the one thing that like all of my friends told me, is that I was always too intense and it made women uncomfortable. And I was like, yeah, I guess I do. And then, you know. And like I said, I was so bad at dating that I didn't really stop, but I just stopped meeting people. I don't know really what drove. I feel like the early, like the 2000 to 2010, I think that was just like the internet was just different. People were more open, more willing to socialize and stuff like that. It wasn't as cliquey as it is now, and the best way I would describe that is you used to go to games to find people to play the game with, right? Now you bring your friends that you already have to the games. It probably has. I don't know. And it could just be people changed. And I didn't change. But I will say I found an article that really struck a chord with me about basically how there's just so much. I hope I saved it. I used to have more friends. As time has gone on, I've noticed I have fewer and fewer friends. Because, like, what has happened is... Yeah, Clover, it's more like the biggest change on the internet. It's not that they ruined the internet, but like big corporations colonized the internet. They basically took over the internet. So, like, why would you start a website when you could just, go make a subreddit? You know what I mean? No, that wasn't the article. But probably the best thing was what I read was... Was it this one? I might have found it. If this is the article, I think it was. It was the most relatable article I ever... I'm skimming the article. I want to see if I can find it. Oh yeah, that was not when I grew up. It was sort of like that because I'm trying to see if this is the article that said it. Because I was so happy to read it. No, this is not it. Damn it. No, I didn't save the article. No, how did I not? Oh, no. Wait, it must be this one. I hope it's this one. No, I didn't. How did I not save this article? No! No, that's not a topic I even want to touch because Twitter is just one man's ego trip anymore. So while a lot of people do blame the internet, I will say also the erosion of third places, basically non-commercial spaces that were, had extremely available to everybody. Like the erosion of those places has been a big problem too, because basically everything is pay to play now, outside of your library if you even have one. So that really has disconnected communities a lot. Anyways, the thing that I read, and I could have sworn I saved it because I was like, yes. This is what I've been saying this whole time. Is that we live in a world with hyper engaging online content, and you can interpret that pretty liberally, the article did. And that basically with all this hyper engaging online content, people just like don't socialize anymore. I mean, to be fair, that's what I knew growing up is that I didn't go out and socialize and hang out with my friends because I knew, number one, if I stayed at home and played video games, I didn't get in trouble. And number two, like, I really liked playing video games. Honestly, the funniest thing I ever had was I had this conversation with some guy on Reddit, again, one of those guys, and I said, I just don't really enjoy anything outside of playing video games. He's like, yep, I agree. That's why I had to quit playing video games. And I'm like, dude, I'm not quitting playing video games because I just don't enjoy anything else as much. I'll just suffer. But the article basically said that I'm sure I think I am. That was one of the interesting things that I encountered was since I wasn't like good at socializing and I was always getting in trouble, that I learned that the best way for me to not get in trouble was to stay in my room. So that was an evolutionary strategy for me to stay out of trouble. I thought it was an article about reducing marriages. And basically, one of the reasons fewer people are coupling up is because of the hyper engaging online content. And one of the things was, like a lot of, like this lady, I forget who it was this researcher. And she was going around to all these different countries, like it wasn't just America. And she was talking to the parents, and they're like, yeah, all my son does is stay in his room and play video games. And that was me. I was that kid. So yeah, I wasn't going outside and playing until dark or anything like that. I was playing video games. Now, I will say, when I was younger, I had a basketball hoop at my house. And a lot of the neighborhood kids really liked playing basketball, so they'd come over to play basketball. And my mom really liked that, because we'd all play basketball. It is Colony by Track Tribe, I think. So we might, assuming I don't get copyright, so this is supposed to be from YouTube Music's free library, we might have some background music during streams now. I can't believe I didn't save the article. Okay. Have a good night, Arctic. Thank you for stopping by. And happy farming if you're going to farm anything. I actually have tried that, Omega, with limited success. There were a couple friends I had growing up that I've tried to get back in touch with, and one of them I just, like, he's like, yeah, you got Discord? I'm like, yeah, dude, here's my phone number, here's my Discord. Never heard from him again, and so I gave up. That was a guy that I really missed because we spent, like, every summer together in middle school together. And so I reached out to him, and I don't know what happened. And then I had another friend I reached out to, and he just, it was weird because I would text him, and then he confessed to me later. He was like, hey, I don't mean to not text you all the time, but I always feel like when I text you back that I have to craft up this perfect text. And so it really gives me some anxiety. And I was like, dude, like, look, man, just chill. Like, it's a text message. It's not supposed to be anxiety inducing, and it's no big deal. And, yeah, Tom, you're right about, well, I mean, I guess you probably missed that part of the story. So, hey, Tom, how you doing? Is I had that arc where I was a super gym bro, and, I did get treated better, but Armored has always been my weakness. But I still did pretty good. I got 4th, so what can I, I'm not going to complain about 4th. And there was no way I was getting 2nd. I mean, this is perfectly good. There's no way I was going to make I've been tracking Nathan, and it's always been like 500 waves for me to make a jump that matters. Like this one. So, this is 350-ish, a little over 350. And so anyways, I went to the gym. I got in super good shape. I was 6'2", 214 pounds, weighed less than I weighed in high school. And people did treat me better, but I'll say this. I didn't get any dates. The best thing was, every guy I spoke to thought I was killing it with dating, and it was the best because none of them even assumed that I was bad with women because I was in such good shape. They assumed I was just constantly slaying. And the reality is, I was not. I got... It's funny, during my fitness arc, I got fewer dates than when I was not in shape. Which to me is like the funniest thing in the world. Omega, I don't know how Deathwave Plus works. All I've been told is that is like not a good ultimate weapon to get. That basically it's Golden Tower and then Chrono Field. So I don't know how Deathwave Plus works. I think I know somebody that has it, and I can try asking him. but I don't think it's as good as you think it is based on the description, because everybody has told me that it's not good. Well, I wasn't in the manosphere. I told you, Omega. I could walk into a whorehouse with 2 fists full of $100 bills and still not get laid, okay? That's how good I am with women. Well, see, Tom, you missed the other anecdote that made the most sense to me. It was about Wilt Chamberlain, and it was from the perspective of one of his teammates, and he said, "You're right." He was like, Wilt Chamberlain was just able to talk to women, make them laugh, make them, make them have a good time and all that, right? And he was like, I wasn't as famous as Wilt Chamberlain, but he was like, I was still I wish I could remember who it was, because I read it in an article about something. He's like, I was not as famous and as wealthy as Wilt Chamberlain, but he's like, I was still a well-renowned basketball player. Everybody knew I had tons of money, etc., right? And he was like, but I couldn't make women feel as comfortable around me as Wilt could. And that to me was the perfect way to sum up my experience with everything. Is that I could just never make women feel that relaxed and that comfortable. And it doesn't help that I'm also like, I tend to be extremely reserved. I tend to err on being risk adverse and those kind of things. And most of the things I do are just male dominated hobbies and stuff like that, which is to me probably the biggest thing is all the hobbies I'm into are basically male dominated. Basically, there's zero. If I had to guess, there would be less than, like, if there is a woman involved, it's because she's there because of her boyfriend, kind of thing. And I just don't do a lot of things. Like I said, mostly I used to go to the gym all the time and play video games, and that was about it. Oh yeah, I've never even tried to slide into somebody's DMs on Instagram or anything like that. It's just not gonna happen. No, I'm not. Don't take me wrong. I'm not gonna commiserate. I'm just completely fine. It's just this came up because of Arctic. He left. And it's just a funny, like, to me, I love talking about this because I find it so funny. I find it so funny. I'm like, I'm a homebody. I'm looking for a woman that's also a homebody. We're both just going to stay home and never meet. That's just how it is. But you are right. If you want to meet people, you have to put yourself in social situations where you can meet people. And I would just rather stay at home. I don't really like... It's not that I dislike people, but I'm not good at being social, so I just don't do it. Why would I do something I'm not good at? Which probably sounds ridiculous on the face of it. But I don't like doing things I'm not good at. But we can blame Arctic for this one. It's just, it's not that I don't like other people, it's just that I just... The small talk and the things that that socializing involves are things that I just don't enjoy. So it's hard for me to do something I don't enjoy, if that makes sense. And I'm not good at it too. So it's like, I'm not good at it, and I don't enjoy it, and so, like, that's like the double whammy, right? But that is why, like, anytime we have a work event, I always go. Because I'm like, I would never do this anyways, but I guess you were doing it for work, so I'll do it. And people are always shocked by that, and I'm like, dude, I would never in a million years do this on my own. So, I mean, if we're doing it for a work thing, sure, I'll show up. Like, I went axe throwing. Never in my life would I ever think about going axe throwing. Axe throwing is just not a thing that was ever on my radar as a thing to do. And so they decided they wanted to go axe throwing, and I went. Yeah, I know what you mean, Omega. And again, I couldn't find the article that I was trying to look for, but what I remember from that article, besides the basketball one, this was a different one, is that what the lady said is she, like, had traveled all around the world. So it wasn't like an America or Europe-centric study. And she said what she found, regardless of where she was in the world, was basically that all these mothers who were saying that, yeah, all my son does is stay in his room and play video games all the time. And I was like, yes, that was me growing up. Hey, Wolfie, congrats. How are you doing? I remember hearing stories from people who were like, yeah, I played World of Warcraft as a kid because it just kept me out of trouble. Like, legitimately, I would keep getting into trouble, so I started playing World of Warcraft just so I didn't get in trouble anymore. It works. You know, it's like I told my friend, it's like, it doesn't, I don't really care. It passes the time. You know, because that's all life is. You just have to pass the time until you run out. Oh, that's fine, Wolfie. I hope you have a nice vacation. Can you please just post that in the guild Discord and with your in-game name so we just know that you're on vacation? And I hope you have a great vacation. Don't worry about the tower. It'll be there when you get back. What I will say, Wolfie, is make sure you queue up some labs that will just burn through while you're gone so you come back to some good labs. Thank you, Wolfie. Appreciate it. Just because every now and then somebody does ask something, so I just want to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. Very much appreciate it, and you have a great vacation. Well, that's cool, Omega. You kind of make me want to get an electric bike. It would at least increase the range of how much I can get around. I see them all around all the time now. I think they're so cool, the electric bikes. If I didn't live in such a car-centric area, I probably would consider getting one. Oh, okay, if you can play, that's good too. I didn't want you to worry about trying to get your reps in on vacation if you're doing like a vacation where you, like, you were, you know, look, I don't know what people do on vacation. When I take a vacation, it's just so I don't have to go to work. I think every vacation I've taken since 2013 is just me playing video games in my house. So Tom, I gave up my car as an experiment back in, I think it was 2017. So Tom, in 2017, I sold my car because my car was like 15 or 16 years old at that point. And I said, I'm gonna see how much I like using Uber and Lyft to get around. And if I don't like using Uber and Lyft, I can always go buy another car. And so here we are 8 years later, and I can honestly say I haven't missed owning a car. I can't say that even for one day I've said, oh man, I really wish I had a car. I can't say I've ever felt that in the 8 years I haven't had one. Maybe the only time would have been when I was moving, but that didn't even really matter anyways, because I rented a van from, not a van, but you know, one of those trucks from U-Haul. And since I haven't missed it, like, I haven't felt the need to get a car. So at the time I started my experiment, this is 2017, and they weren't super expensive. But they have dramatically gone up in price since then, yes. But here's the thing, Tom, it's not like owning a car is free either. So when I computed my total cost of ownership of a car, it came out to a monthly expense of at least $400 when you count insurance, gas, and all that. I couldn't tell you the last time I even took Uber or Lyft. Actually, I could. It was because I had to go to a funeral. And so I took Uber to the funeral because I wasn't going to miss the funeral because I just couldn't get a ride. So I took Uber to the funeral. And that was probably 10 months ago. I don't really go anywhere, Tom. So it's not like I need a car. That's the thing. I work remote. I work close enough. If I do have to go into the office, I live close enough I can walk there. I walk to get my groceries. So, like, you know, I don't live a lifestyle where I need to have a car. So, in the 8 years, I haven't missed it. While I can work remote, if I do have to go in the office, it's a mile away. I used to go into the office 3 times a week, and I would just walk there the mile. A 6,000 watt? Is that a lot? I've lived in both rural areas and in the city area. I'll tell you, I couldn't stand living in a rural area because you have to have a car. Everything was like 30 minutes to an hour away. It was just so inconvenient for day-to-day living. I remember as a kid when we moved from a rural area to a city, and oh my God, the city was so much nicer. I could walk to the mall. I could walk to anywhere I needed to go. I could walk to, and it was at most like 4 miles away. It was so nice. It was so nice. So I've lived both ways. I'm also not oh wow, 60 miles per hour, that's a lot. So I've thought about getting an electric bike like a lot of the time, and then I just never do it. Because I've seen some really nice looking electric bikes around here. And I was really impressed. Because they seem like such a great way to get around. But I don't know that I would feel comfortable with an electric bike with how people drive around here. Like, I couldn't see myself taking my electric bike and driving in the road with it. Which is why I don't have one. Just because I don't feel like people that drive cars are aware and respectful enough of people on motorcycles and electric bikes in general. It'd be nice, though. That is one of the reasons that like if I could move, I would move to some place that was more pedestrian friendly. But I mean, for me to get the level of pedestrian or cyclist friendly, I'd have to move to like the Netherlands, which I don't know how I could ever do that. I'd have to like somehow be able to immigrate there, and I don't see that happening. I honestly don't even know. I had a friend who did it. He lived in Argentina, got married, got his American citizenship, and then he somehow was able to immigrate back into the EU. Yeah, I'm in the US, yeah. I was like, wow. Like, in retrospect, I'm like, wow, I don't know how you even start doing that. But I have no connections to the EU. Like, sure, I have Irish ancestry because my dad's side fled Ireland because of the Great Potato Famine. But I don't have any proof of that. That happened in like the 1800s. I don't think I could get, I don't think I could get my foot in the door. No, the US is designed around cars. Everything we built, especially where I live, is all about cars. Like when I walk to work, I have to walk a very sketchy place with no sidewalk to get into work because a sidewalk is infrastructure we don't build here, even though a sidewalk is a lot cheaper than maintaining a road, but we don't do it. But the thing is, like, electric bikes are so affordable compared to cars that I feel like we're gonna have to have a momentum shift at some point. At least that's what I'm hoping for. I've never done that, Omega. Every gym I've gone to, I've walked to. Even when the gym was like 1.5 miles away. Because it just wasn't, when you consider getting into your car, leaving the parking lot, going through the lights, fighting for a parking spot at the gym, to me, it wasn't worth it for the 5 or less minutes I would save. Oh, I guess I can change it like this. Almost 28 trillion a minute, not, or 27 trillion a minute, not bad. There, well, now it is 27. But it's just the way we've built our cities. You know, we have decided to build it that way. Oh, are you down there in Dade County? Because I used to know all. I used to live out in the middle of nowhere in Broward. Oh, I'll get it eventually. It stacks up to 25. I know it triggers people though when I leave it up. Hey, Clouded, how you doing? Well, that's because I'm not a kid. I'm an adult. Also, you don't have to get after me to do my homework. The tower tournament is my homework. This is just a farm run. Oh, okay. I used to be pretty familiar with Broward County. I'm looking at 4th, so we're doing great. It's everything I thought it could be. I don't know, I was helping my buddy with his homework, his son. It's crazy everywhere now. Every place is like packed to the gills. I remember where I grew up used to be like, I kid you not, it used to be you would go outside after it got dark out, nobody was driving, the streets were empty. Okay, because I lived where a bunch of old people live, so after a certain point, the old people, you know, they weren't doing anything. They weren't driving at night. And now, it's slammed. I used to live in a retirement city, which is actually a really nice place to live, around a bunch of old people that are retired. Great. I'll be right back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Oof. All right, I'm back. It's kind of crazy how every place I know now is like slammed. But that's just like, so for example, my friend bought into a rural area. And this was probably like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. And he's already told me like it's already getting built up like crazy. They're building a Walmart there. They're building this there. They're building that there. And he was telling me all this, and I'm like, oh, that'll be great. You'll have all this stuff by you. And they're like, and he was like, no, it's not. It's terrible. I didn't want this. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't know he didn't want this. But you know, like I said, I'm not a fan of living out in the middle of nowhere. It makes everything so hard. I don't know how you do it, because it's so hard to live out in the middle of nowhere, because like you just don't have anything there. You got to drive everywhere. I think that's like inevitable, Omega. Like there's a nice place to live, and then people find out about it, and then there you go. It's like, oh, we can't live in the big city anymore. Now we'll come over here. It's one of those things. I don't understand how it works. Now, of course, in like Detroit, it's the opposite, where everybody has left. I knew a guy there that bought a bank in Detroit because he got it for a really good deal because everybody had left. It was like 1,000 or like, I don't know if it was 1,000, but it was very inexpensive because, you know, nobody lives in Detroit anymore. I don't think it's density as much as it's cost, because people usually, like what happens to me is when things get too expensive in the city, they have to move to the suburbs, and that's it. That just becomes the infinite cycle, right? Because it like where it drives people where they live is where they can afford to live. Excuse me. At least that's what I've seen. Now, I do have a few of people I've known that have intentionally sought out, you know, living in the middle of nowhere. I don't understand. I mean, nothing against that. It's not for me. If they like it, that's fine. But even they end up losing the battle because it's also really affordable to live out in the place where nobody's at, until everybody else finds out that it's affordable and then they move there too. At least that's been my experience, from second-hand experience, I should say. Yeah, I'm one of those people, New. That's why I live close to work. Even though I don't drive, I still live close to work because I cannot stand driving. Driving to work is one of the worst things. Hey, Graham, how you doing? We're just chilling, doing a farm run. The tournament's already over. Honestly, to me, one of the bigger shames of that I've seen is the 180 we've done on remote work. Because I feel like remote work is so valuable for society, and we've just decided, nah, we don't like that. And that to me is the biggest shame. Because a lot of the problems with modern society can be fixed with an embrace of remote work. It was Escape from LA and Escape from New York. I don't think Escape from Detroit was one. Those are the two that I remember with that one guy, Kurt Russell. The Thing guy. I don't know if there was an Escape from Detroit. I can't stand driving either, Fernando, which is why I don't own a car. Like I'll be honest, when I first learned as a kid, honestly, I attribute my lack of interest in social dynamics because I just am not good at it. It's just one of those things I'm not good at, and I don't like doing things I'm not good at. If I'm not good at it, why would I do it? Which actually is a personality trait called schizoid, not to be confused with schizophrenia. I remember when my friend was doing psychology and he showed me the definition of schizoid, and it fit me to like a T. Really, I'm high in Machiavellianism? Huh. I've always considered myself terrible at being manipulative, deceitful, and like just absolutely terrible with that. Not that I really tried to be those things, but like anytime I did try to do like manipulate somebody, I always lost. And I was like, all right, this is another thing I'm not good at. So let's scratch this one off. Because yes, as a teenager, I did want to try to be manipulative and see if I could do it. And I could not do it. It's the same reason I'm bad at revenge. Because I realized I used to try to be a very vengeful person because I felt like the most important thing to do when somebody slighted you was to get even, right? And then I realized that even the best revenge I ever had, which I don't even know what I would qualify as the best revenge I ever got in somebody now, required me to put in so much work for something that was like a mild inconvenience to somebody else at best. And I was like, what am I doing? I'm spending all my time trying to get this revenge, and again, it never turns out the way I think of it in my head. Not that I'm saying getting revenge on people is a good trait to have or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, I was bad at it. Maybe I am, I don't know. I just had to look the definition of Machiavellianism up. I'm like, really? Am I that? I don't know. I don't think I'm that. If I am that, I really don't think I'm good at it. But, you know, that's just going on my historical perspective. Like probably the most realistic thing I could ever remember in terms of socialization was in any friend group or any group I was ever involved in my entire life. It's not that I dislike people. It's that I've always felt that people didn't like me. And let me explain what I mean by this. In every group of friends I've ever been... Okay, you're an hour behind, okay. I've always been the one that has wanted it the most. And then... I always felt like all my other friends just, like, didn't care. Hey, Ned, how you doing? And that was the weirdest revelation to me. Because I was always... I don't know how to describe it, but I was always at the bottom of the totem pole in any friend group I was in. Like, I was the most expendable because I wanted it the most. No, I haven't really gotten much further. I think I can look at my results. Hold on. I'm gonna pause this so I don't lose this to something crazy happening. So I got to 1345. And so, no, that was not my best, was last tournament. So this is actually a downgrade, but it was a downgrade because I had to use the joystick, so that's why. But hey, Ned, that means you got a lot stronger, so that's good. This was not an easy tournament because of the battle condition about the ultimate weapon erosion, or whatever it is called. This was not an easy one. Really? I could never save anyone. I legitimately tried with one of my friends and I couldn't do it. Two of my friends, actually. And I just gave up. Three of my friends, actually. I thought you could change people's minds at one point and show them reason, but no. Oh, wow, you got your lab speed maxed? That'll be a huge boost, plus it's a free lab. Yeah, being able to, and yes, being able to research damage stuff will help. Damage will help a lot, especially with how everything is focused around damage anymore. I guess one thing I've been fortunate is I max crit factor, damage, like damage per meter, everything. Yeah, that's what I had to do. I'm kind of surprised somebody said I was high on Machiavelli. I don't know how to say it, Machiavellianism. I'm just so surprised. I never would have thought I was any good at that. Nice! I still have to finish up my Deathwave armor stripping. I have 2 more levels of that to do. I'll probably be getting that soon. Because as you can see, like, this card mastery's almost done, this card mastery's almost done, This one is at 6 out of 9, so it's nice, and it's almost done. And so is this one. Workshop utility discount's almost done, too. Well, at least I'm not malignant. That's good. I was just surprised. I mean, maybe I am, maybe I'm not. It was more the surprising than anything. I blame Arctic. I'm also mad I couldn't find that article. Because that article described everything to me to a T. Also, the one article I did find talked about how people are risk adverse. Oh, whoops! I forgot to close this. And yeah, I'm probably way too risk adverse, but I always have been. It's one of the things that I struggle with the most because I just feel like I'm too risk adverse in life. Maybe I need to start gambling. Just straight up degenerate gambling. With stocks in the stock market. I'm no good at roulette. I'd much rather buy some zero day calls or puts and just gamble that way. Gamble like a true degenerate in the stock market. Delightful kiss boy crap. Oh, absolutely not. I would never engage in dog fighting. I'm not an NFL player. Maybe that was wrong. I don't know. That's what Michael Vick is known for to me. Like, I will say this. Michael Vick did actually learn his lesson. He does actually try to make a difference now. So I have to give him respect for that. Because he did realize what he was doing with the dogfighting was wrong. And he did turn his life around. Apparently he grew up with dogfighting, so he didn't think it was a big deal. At least that was the story I heard. And then, like, after he got the conviction and realized how wrong it was that what he was doing, that he actually tried to make a difference. So that was good to hear. Somebody actually, like, you know, learning from their mistake. At least I hope that, at least that's how I remember the story ended. Oh, commodity options, okay. Oh, so the hardcore commodities where I hold it and then I gotta take delivery. Hey, Truth, how you doing? That's kind of hilarious, Ned. All right, Brad, you have a good night. Happy farming. I hope you have a good one. I'm pretty sure I heard of that happening on Wall Street Bets, about how somebody ended up with like an oil commodity and had to actually figure out how to take delivery of it. I think the end result was he just sold it at a loss. I mean, did you max Goldenbot? Because Goldenbot should be first. Okay. Let's see how my golden boy is doing. All right, we're at 2 quadrillion. Wow, 4 trillion. Good job, Fetch. You used to be good. He's 10%. Goldenbot is 10% for me. A little less. It's probably about 9%. Which is still, like, pretty good. Yeah, that's what happened when oil went negative. And an oil storage company spiked. Yeah, I missed that one, Ned. It was the first time oil went negative, because nobody wanted to take delivery. They wanted to pay people to take delivery. Because everything just froze up. Yeah, and what happened is, like, anything related to oil storage, those stocks went up about 10%, if not more. If I remember right, this has been a while. I should have bought those Google Leaps. Like I would be sitting pretty right now. Or actually, I should have gotten to GameStop like before the hype happened. I got into it when the hype happened. I made a little bit, but you know, nothing crazy. I got into it and got out of it before Musk tweeted about it. So right now I'm up to 2 quadrillion. 2 hours. Oh, wow, we've been doing this for 2 hours, and I'm at 2 quadrillion. So farming tier 14 has helped out a lot. And I'm working on saving up for GT11. So that's cool. I think I'll be able to get it after the next tournament. And then I'll see how that helps. But it took me forever to get to farm tier 14. I had to get my economy, then get super tower and all those card masteries. And after all those card masteries, including wave acceleration, intro sprint, and wave skip, now I can farm it. Oh, you got the +2 meters from the guild shop? It does make my bots super massive. Nice. Yeah, I missed out on making money when oil went negative. Again, I was too much of a chicken. I could have been the one taking delivery of a ton of oil. I mean, I can just store that in my backyard, right? Could you imagine? Just like 1 million barrels of oil in your backyard. So it varies between 2 to 3 quadrillion. The problem, Ned, is I have auto restart now, so I never really see the end. I kind of have to go now per day. I can answer that because I actually track that a little bit better. Ever since Fetch broke, I have my stats here. So let's see. Oh, wait. Oh, I have to update. I haven't updated it since the 9th. All right, that'll be 5 days. All right, hold on. We're going to do a magic trick. That's the wrong magic trick. So in 5 days, I've made 120 quadrillion. So about 24 quadrillion a day, which is about what I would expect. I make about a quadrillion an hour now. Yeah, I know. I did a magic trick. It's back now. Don't worry. But yeah, I'm at 720 quadrillion now. I didn't know I was making 24 quadrillion an hour. I mean, 24 quadrillion a day, which is a big improvement. I had to get the numbers post-fetch because fetch was giving me, like, I think 50% more or something crazy. It was insane. It was insane how good fetch used to be. I was getting so many coins with fetch. It was ridiculous. Well, if you get a good ancestral G-comp, it's probably worth trying G-comp because that should at least help. Yeah, BHD is now the king. But I won't be able to, that BHD is not for me yet. Maybe eventually, but I'm too far away from it for now, which is fine. But I do think I'm gonna call it. It's actually like really late here. Wow, this is a 3-hour stream. I didn't know it would be 3 hours. Oh, nice, Ned. So, Ned, you're ready to start card masteries. Did you start Super Tower Mastery? Yeah, you're probably gonna catch up. Oh, wait, you're probably gonna finish GT, right? You're just gonna finish GT, aren't you? Once you get your econ set, you're just gonna be able to do, like, at 5 quadrillion a day, you can probably already do at least 3 to 4 card masteries. Oh, that's it? Minus 3 levels and 10k? That's not very good. Oh, yeah, they moved too quick. Yeah, we all know about the 10-meter table problem. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here, guys. I'm thinking I'm gonna stream another game later tonight if anybody wants to watch. BHD has, I don't even know, Ned. I know the requirements are like insane. Oh, Ned, did I ever send you that thing about geothermal? I don't remember if I did. I don't think I did. I even had a joke and everything I was gonna make. Oh, okay, you're on level 9 of Super Tower. Okay. Yeah, but you have to have your ultimate weapons in a certain way, because I talked to Christian about it. He said, no, you're not ready to be BHD because you're too dependent on G-Comp. Aren't you a GT13? I would say probably consider grabbing recovery package mastery just for the shards. So while you're working on GT outside of that, you can at least work on your modules at the same time. Since you can afford doing the masteries now. Because you'll get so many shards, and at least you, like, during those couple months. I have to check with Christian Omega. I really have to check with him because he was explaining to me all the things I needed to do. because you need to have perm black hole. You have to have a natty perm black hole is a big thing, which I don't have a natty permanent black hole. So I'd have to get my black hole to 38 seconds, I think. And then I would have to switch off MVN. And then you have to max Deathwave. Well, actually, you don't have to switch off MVN anymore if you get Deathwave's cooldown up enough so you get it to 50 seconds. Because then you have your natural everything. And then that was, I think, what you needed. I don't remember. It was so many things. And I said, well, I'm not there yet. G-Comp is just easy mode. I do have a 5-star BHD for whatever that's worth. Yeah, I'm saving up for GT11. But Ned, you're a GT13, right? I would definitely suggest getting... Oh, okay, you have it. All right. Okay, you already have it. If you already have it, that's the only one I can say that, like... Just because of how many module shards you need, that I would say, yeah, you're probably going to want to just start on that. I can't think of any that are going to be that crazy, like unless you wanted to start going down econ, which would be enemy balance. Enemy balance. Then you would do damage. Then you do demon mode just so you get some extra damage. Again, not really econ. Yeah, I know what you mean, Omega, because that's been my problem too. That's why I just end up sticking with Econ. Econ seems to always win, and Econ never gets in trouble. You know, the meta is never going to change. Like, the meta might go from Smart Missile to Chain Lightning to Smart Missile to Chain Lightning to Poison Swamp. But Econ is always there. Yeah, once you start getting keys, that'll help a lot, because you'll start making some quality of life progress at least. I mean, that's what Fuds mentioned, that he's going to make it, but the only way I see Defense Absolute being useful is we'll see something like project funding with Defense Absolute. And by project funding, I mean we're going to see Defense Absolute in some way either give you damage or economy, and not that Defense Absolute's going to power up EHP. Wait, what defense bonuses don't stack with Defense Absolute properly? Because the way it works, from what I understand, is defense percent goes first, then of that damage you take, then you apply Defense Absolute. And as far as I understand, that's the most favorable way of doing Defense Absolute. Oh, okay. So they need to apply before. So like Chronofield's defense percent applies after Defense Absolute when it should apply before. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you can't Ned, you can't lose with maxing GT. You literally can't lose. The only way you could lose is, like, for example, with how expensive Golden Tower 14 is, you probably could pick up wave acceleration and like wave skip, and like given how you farm, I would recommend at least considering getting Wave Acceleration, Wave Skip, and Intro Sprint. But the only reason I would recommend that, Ned, is just because the difference between GT 13 and 14 is probably going to be about 25 to 30%, right? And you'd get more for that 4,000 stones. You get more mileage out of that 4,000 stones with some of the card masteries. And I honestly can't really recommend Intro Sprint hard enough because it's such a huge quality of life thing. But not only that, if you're farming tier 12, which I believe you are, tier 11 or tier 12, it skips the worst first 2,000 waves. But it's just something to think about. It would be hard pressed for me to take GT14 over those, is kind of what I'm getting at. And honestly, I'd probably throw Coin in there. But Coin's kind of expensive, but again, it's 30% for 1250 stones versus GT 13 to 14 being like 4,000 stones. I think you could probably get Wave Acceleration, Wave Skip, Intro Sprint, and Coin Mastery for the cost of GT 14 if I'm not misremembering. But it's just something to think about. Because the reality is you would then do that and then turn around and get GT14. And I probably would say get enemy balance in there too, just for the extra cells. And I would probably say do enemy balance before those, but you know me and my research. EHP is kind of viable. We're going to find out, Tom, if EHP is going to be viable with the next module that drops. Okay, you're in tier 11. So aren't you doing like 8,000 waves, though? Because the only reason... because if you're doing longer runs like that, Intro Sprint is such a huge thing because you chop the first 1,800 waves down to 180. And that's such a huge boost. Well, just do your econ cards. Like I said, enemy balance. And I would probably look at them in this order. Enemy balance, Wave Acceleration, Wave Skip, Intro Sprint, and Coin. Just those 5 cards, I would consider doing those. And then you just do GT4. Because it's either going to be... you do GT14 and then you come back and do these 5 cards, or you do these 5 cards and then you come back and do GT14. Because you need both for econ. It's not like a either or kind of thing. That's what I would do, just because I know the cards are going to be such a huge boost. And at least you're at the point now where you make enough coins where you actually can afford to do a bunch of card mastery labs. Because that was the big thing. It was trying to get your tower to a point where you could afford to do the labs. Also, did researching radius for Smart Missile help any? So I know enough about Death Wave Plus that you build damage every effect wave that goes off. So all these waves build damage. You don't have to have the ring up to do it. I don't know if that answers your question or not, Omega. And again, I'm going to caution you on Death Wave Plus because every top end player I've spoke to about it has told me veto. Don't do it. Well, at least you made it to 14th. Is that what's your usual wave count in champ? can double check with Christian. It should be faster, Ned, just because of the return. Oh, well, congrats on your personal best. Because again, I know that, like, for example, wave acceleration, I think is 750. Wave skip is, I think, 750. Coin is 1250. Intro sprint is 1250. And when I did all of those, each one of those was probably a 30% stack. And you're looking at 13 to 14 GT is also a 30% stack. But now you're getting at least, I would say at least 3 of them are 30%. Okay, I figured it was Radius because you didn't have any AoE. Because that was your problem. You got Smart Missile and you didn't have any AoE with it, and I assumed that getting some AoE would help a lot. Versus the damage amp. Obviously, you can get the damage amp after you get the Radius up because you already had your damage amp up a bit. So you get the Radius up, then turn around and max the damage amp. Because you just need that explosion to hit more than one thing. I didn't even know there was a Radius when I got it. I was like, wow, that's neat. And at the very least, when you get Intro Sprint Mastery, it'll be so worth it for the tournaments. I love it in my tournaments. Oh my gosh. We did the tournament in like a half hour today. Maybe it was 45 minutes. Then I did a farm run and, you know, we've been here for 3 hours, but you know. I am thinking I think I want to try streaming a game after this. So let me end this stream and like give me a minute to go to the restroom, get something to drink and all that. The game's going to be Star Ocean, the second story. Oh, do I want to end this run first? Well, I want to finish this run. Probably have 400. I should be okay. I should be okay. But yeah, I want to stream Star Ocean, the second story. I bought the remake of the game because it was on sale like last week or 2 weeks ago. And I really have wanted to play it because the funny thing was before the remake came out, I was thinking of this game I played and I couldn't remember what game it was. And it ended up being Star Ocean, the second story. And I was like, wow, it'd be really nice to play that game again because I remember it being fun. And there was no way to play it because there was no remake. And then 2 years ago, they made the remake, so this was like a 3-year-old. This has been like a 3-year saga for me. But the problem is, I didn't buy the remake right away because it had Denuvo, the DRM, and I refuse to buy any game that has that on it. Because all it does is create problems. I mean, yes, the game still runs, but the performance is terrible. Oh, shoot, you get 6,500 stones a month? You're good, then. Yeah, Omega, so I waited. I refused to buy any game that has Denuvo encryption. Absolutely refused. You know the best thing Denuvo has done? The best thing Denuvo has done is they turned their anti-piracy thing into a subscription. And that's the only subscription I support, because you know why I support it? Because it means these companies have to remove it because they get tired of paying for the subscription. So I wait until they drop it, and then once they drop it, I add the game to my wish list and I buy the game. Well, I add the game to my wish list, and then I buy the game when it's on sale because I know I'm not a sucker. I'm gonna wait for you to put your game on sale because Steam has taught me that everything goes on sale. But for example, Doom the Dark Ages, a game I was really excited for, came out and has Denuvo on it, so now I'm not excited for it. I'll just wait until it's removed and I'll get it on sale. I don't think I was gonna buy it day zero anyways because I just like I can't get into the hype machine like that, you know what I mean? But now that it has the encryption, I'm 100% not doing it until it's gone. Denuvo is an encryption anti-piracy DRM thing, and basically the way it works, Ned, is it has the entire game encrypted, and as you play the game, it decrypts the game in real time, which has like a performance impact of like 25%. It is the nastiest DRM basically on the market. And also it's uncrackable. But in principle, it's so consumer unfriendly, Ned, that's why I refuse to have any game that has it implemented. Because it is such a, in my opinion, such a disgusting, like the cost you pay as a consumer for the, there's the one girl that can crack it, Omega, so it's mostly uncrackable. So the cost you pay as a consumer, Ned, to me is horrendous, which is why I refuse to buy anything with it. But like I said, they have turned their anti-piracy thing into a subscription service, so, which is one thing I 100% support, because that means these companies, after like about 6 months, get tired of paying the subscription for the game, and they drop it and have to remove it from their game. And then I can buy the game and play it. Like, Denuvo is so hated, Ned. They opened up a Discord to try and improve their customer relations, and they got trolled nonstop 24/7. Like, I will take online activation over that crap. Absolutely ridiculous garbage. But again, the caveat with online activation is if you turn your online activation servers off, you have to remove it. Oh, well, I guess now we get to do my researches. So that's cool. Wow, this is a really long stream. Like, again, I'm not against digital rights management. I'm just against garbage like that. And that to me is straight up garbage. That doesn't benefit the consumer in any ways. All right, good night, Ned. You have a good, whoops. Yep, there's my reminder. You have a good evening and happy farming, man. Whoops, there's my other reminder. All right, now I have to, hold on. Let me make sure I reset my reminders so I don't forget tomorrow. I screwed my, I overslept and I screwed it up and it's an hour later now. I'm glad to hear you're making so much progress, though, Ned. Yeah, pretty much, Omega. It makes it for me, so I don't even consider it. Any game that has it. I vote with my wallet, and I say, no, I'm not going to buy this until you remove that garbage. And once you remove that garbage, I will buy it. When it's on sale. Because at this point, I've waited so goddamn long, I'm gonna wait until you put it on sale. Alright. But I'm gonna go. I will see you guys. I'm probably gonna do another stream. I doubt it's gonna be that long of a stream. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But once again, as always, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. And if you have any questions, feel free to say something in the comments. I do always look forward to your questions. And as always, thank you again. And I hope you have a great day. Good night, everybody, and happy farming. I will be back with a Star Ocean stream, and give me about 5 minutes or so to get everything configured, 5 to 15. If you don't want to see it, that's cool. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody.